Nisio Isin's debut work, Zaregoto, is so chock-filled with foreshadowing that rereading Volume 1 after finishing the story made me realize how everything was laid out in plain sight for the reader. From the way the 9-volume covers form the symbol of nonsense, to the arc reflections between Decapitation and Psychological, Strangulation and Cannibal Magical, or Suspension and Uprooted Radical. But this extends to why Volume 1 is exactly 9 chapters, to set up each of the 9 volumes within the series. Volume 1 establishes a bunch of things, but the main takeaway is that E takes everything and everyone at face value, even himself. When Maki throws it in his face in chapter 1, and throughout the entire volume, sure, it riles him up, but the status quo remains the same. E figures out the decapitation better than the geniuses on the island, but because he disregards things that force him to think too much, he isn't able to get to the heart of the problem for himself, for Tomo, for Maki, and for Iria. Volume 2 could be summarized perfectly with this quote from chapter 2 of Volume 1. Whether you think it's true, or think it's a lie, or think it's something else, that doesn't affect anything. That the lie in and of itself is just words, nothing more than the truth itself, and because truth is filled with deception, there is no difference between a truth and a lie. Sure, it's used to withhold information to the reader, but for E himself, it doesn't really matter if he remembers or doesn't. He would act the same way. Volume 3 has a looming threat or assistance, depending on how you look at it, of Aikawa, because she is the one that throws E into the school, while chapter 3 in Volume 1 has multiple characters point to Aikawa as the genius that will solve the given situation so that not even a speck of doubt remains. But at the end of the day, E managed to get most of it himself because of how he resolves the issues, and that's the key foreshadowing, that E can only do what E can do. Aikawa may get the complete result, but we haven't actually seen her fully do it her way and get the same outcome. It's always been piggybacked off of E in both Volume 1 and in Volume 3. Volume 4 and 5 takes us to a secluded lab that points to the line in chapter 4 of Volume 1 that geniuses are above the law, and this is also where Chikun shows off his prowess as a member of team. Psychological is E's confrontation of another team member, Green Green Green, and how E plays into the role of being by Tomo's side even more than any of the team, because even those geniuses who will commit crimes for the sake of Tomo can be tossed aside for E. Volume 6 is the time where E finally stops telling the lies that he tells himself, and he actually wants to live, and lo and behold, the title of chapter 6 in Volume 1 is Lie, because it's filled with lies told from liars and the cracks it forms from those who want to seek the truth. Teriko, tells E to die, which is what he tells to himself often, but that line itself is a lie to divert from the indifference that he has for himself, but the impact he has to those that are around him. Finally, volumes 7, 8, and 9 are the amalgamation of the influence of the cast on E and E's influence on the cast of Zaregoto. E, who was unable to shake hands with Maki, ends up doing so with Aikawa without any hesitation. Aikawa, who is a foe to her environment, is the same as Tomo, who was rejected by her environment, and thus waged war on it to survive. E claims his memory is just terrible throughout all of Volume 1, but here in the final chapters, he remembers the fortune teller's lines clearly, all a beautiful callback to the prologue of Volume 1, which is to make your own value in the world, whether you were labeled a genius or not. I know I said exactly 1 year ago on this channel that this would be the year of Isin, and I only did 2 videos, which, if you haven't checked out, that's totally fine. You can see this playlist, but I will try to have more than 2 for this year, especially with Volume 10's amazing trailer discussed here. If we have a connection via the YouTube algorithm, let's meet again, and maybe subscribe. Peace.